4 matches in 10 days, Christmas football and its most brutal. And Wrexham's gaffer has just admitted he might have to play someone completely out of position just to survive it. Alright Red Dragons fans, if you're back in Wrexham through thick and thin like I am, smash that subscribe button right now, because we need to talk about the crisis that's quietly brewing at the racecourse. Phil Parkinson doesn't panic easily. The man's seen it all: promotions, heartbreaks, last-minute winners and crushing defeats. But when he stood in front of the cameras after that 2-2 draw with Watford, you could hear it in his voice. Concern. Real concern. Wrexham are heading into the most demanding stretch of the Championship season with a massive problem. Their wing-backs, the engine room of Parkinson's system, the players who make everything tick, are dropping like flies. Issa Kabore, who's been absolutely brilliant since arriving from Manchester City, is out for at least 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. Libby Kakar, the New Zealand international, signed to provide exactly this kind of depth, is sidelined with a calf problem. And here's what makes it terrifying. The fixture list doesn't care. 4 championship matches in 10 days over Christmas. 4 battles against sides desperate for points. And Wrexham might have to improvise their way through it with midfielders playing out of position. This isn't just about squad rotation or giving fringe players a chance. This is about survival in the most unforgiving league Wrexham have played in for decades. 1 bad week over Christmas and suddenly the promotion dream, the Hollywood fairy tale, starts to look shaky. But to understand why this is such a nightmare, we need to go back to where it all started. When Wrexham made the jump from League One to the Championship in May, everyone knew it would be a different beast, faster, stronger, more relentless. Phil Parkinson knew it better than anyone. That's why the summer transfer business was so critical. Enter Issa Kabore. On deadline day, Wrexham pulled off what felt like a masterstroke, a season-long loan from Manchester City for a 24-year-old wing-back with pace, power and Premier League pedigree. The lad was been buzzing from the moment he arrived at the racecourse. Quick, athletic, technically sound, exactly what Parkinson needed to compete at this level. And then there was Libby Kakar. Signed from Italian side Empoli in the summer, the New Zealand international was meant to provide genuine competition and depth on the opposite flank. 2 quality wing-backs, options, flexibility, the kind of squad depth you need to survive in the Championship. For a while it looked perfect. Kabore was flying. His performances down the right were some of the best we'd seen in a Wrexham shirt. The racecourse faithful were absolutely loving him. But then came the international break in November and everything started to unravel. Kabore jetted off to represent Burkina Faso. Routine stuff, World Cup qualifiers, Nations Cup business, except he came back with a hamstring problem. Not a minor niggle, a proper injury. 6 weeks minimum. Suddenly, Parkinson's first choice wing-back was gone and the congested festive schedule was looming large. Kakar was supposed to be the solution, but here's the cruel twist. He'd already been struggling with tendon issues earlier in the season. His last appearance? A goalless draw at Portsmouth back on 5th November. Now he's dealing with a calf injury and nobody knows when he'll be ready. Behind closed doors at the training ground, you can imagine the conversations. Parkinson and his coaching staff looking at the fixture list, looking at the treatment room, doing the maths. Ryan Barnett, Ryan Longman, James McElhenney all pressed into service as makeshift wingbacks in recent weeks. But these aren't natural fits. They're wingers, attackers, players being asked to do a job that's not theirs. And Christmas football waits for no one. After the Watford draw on Saturday, Parkinson faced the media. This was the moment. No hiding, no sugarcoating, just honest, brutal reality. I think we're strong in many areas at the top of the pitch and in midfield. You could hear him measuring his words carefully. It's just in the wing-back area, with the 2 lads going out, because that's a very demanding position physically. Physically demanding. That's Championship football in 2 words. And wing-back might be the most exhausting role on the pitch. Up and down, defending one moment, attacking the next. 90 minutes of relentless running. Do that 4 times in 10 days and you're asking for trouble. Then came the line that stopped everyone in their tracks. Over that period of time, we're going to have to adapt one of the midfielders to be able to play out of position. Out of position? In the Championship? During the busiest week of the season? What would you do in Parkinson's shoes? Risk rushing Kabore or Kaká back too early and potentially losing them for months? Or throw a midfielder into an unfamiliar role and hope they can survive against some of the most physical, tactical teams in English football? It's a nightmare scenario. Because here's the truth, wing-back in Parkinson's system isn't just about running. It's about tactical awareness, positioning, when to push forward, when to tuck in. It's about reading the game at championship speed. And asking someone who's never played there regularly to do it 4 times in 10 days, that's a massive gamble. Parkinson knows it too. It's going to be unrealistic to go into those games if those two don't come back fit with what we've got. Translation, we're in trouble, and there's nothing we can do about it until the January transfer window opens. The clock is ticking, the fixtures are coming, and Wrexham are about to find out just how deep their squad really is.
Wrexham supporters are split on this one. On social media, you can see the tension building. Some fans are backing Parkinson completely. Trust the gaffer, he's brought us this far, he'll find a solution. Others are asking harder questions. Should we have signed more depth in the summer? Did we underestimate the Championship's intensity? The reality is somewhere in between. Nobody could have predicted Kabore getting injured on international duty. Nobody planned for Kakache to have persistent fitness issues. But football doesn't care about bad luck. What's interesting is how Parkinson's handling it publicly. He's not making excuses, but he's also not hiding from the problem. He pointed out that George Thomason didn't even get on the pitch against Watford, despite being tremendous for the club. Ollie Rathbone adds even more quality in midfield. The squad has depth, just not in the positions where they need it most right now. The broader football media are watching this closely too. Wrexham's story from non-league to Hollywood ownership to back-to-back promotions to the Championship is already one of the greatest in modern football. But this is the reality check. The Championship doesn't care about Disney documentaries or celebrity owners. It cares about who can field 11 fit, capable players week after week. And right now, Wrexham are scrambling to do exactly that. Let's be clear about what's at stake here. Wrexham aren't just trying to survive in the Championship. They're trying to establish themselves, to prove they belong at this level. Every point matters. Every match shapes the narrative. Drop points over Christmas because you're playing makeshift wing-backs. That's a gap that could take months to close. This isn't League Two anymore, where quality shines through no matter what. This is a division where tactical mismatches get punished ruthlessly. But here's the thing about this club. Adversity is nothing new. This is Wrexham, the town that watched its football club nearly die, the fans who stuck by through administration, through National League obscurity, through years of wondering if they'd ever see their team compete again. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney didn't just buy a football club, they bought into a story of resilience. Phil Parkinson didn't just take a job, he signed up to write the next chapter of one of football's greatest comebacks. 4 matches in 10 days, players out of position, a treatment room that's too full, and a squad that's being stretched to its limits. This is the test. Not the glamorous Hollywood moment, not the documentary-worthy promotion. This is the gritty, unglamorous reality of Championship football. And Wrexham are about to find out what they're really made of. At the end of the day, this is what supporting Wrexham is all about. Not just the glory nights and the last-minute winners, but the moments when everything seems stacked against you and you've got to dig deep and find a way through. From Hollywood to the racecourse, through injuries and impossible fixture lists, this is our story, and we're not finished writing it yet. Let me know in the comments, who would you play at wing-back over Christmas? Hit like if you're backing the lads no matter what, and I'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Red Dragons!